welcome back to a very sick episode of Basement Birds. Get it? Sick means good.
Sick in a healthy way, finally.
Yeah, dude, this is great. We're back in the
Yeah, we're
basement
We are back.
after being in the world's smallest hotel room.
Oh
and
my
a
gosh!
camera
yeah,
shot that
I have a chair. I have so much room to sprawl.
I know
out
I
so
could
that
stretch out
there's
like this and not run into any walls.
I can't because I have a wall about 2 feet to my left, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
No, it was fun.
Beats
It
the
was a
small
fun
hotel room.
experience.
Oh,
It
it was
was,
a blast. I had a lot of fun.
I feel like one one thing that everyone has to do is go stay in a hotel room in New York and
a tiny hotel.
and pay a ridiculous amount per night.
That is one thing. I've been there 4 times now. Haven't done that once.
Well, at least you have
great.
someone to stay with. But
Exactly.
for
Yeah,
those of you that
no-
don't know what we're
don't know
talking
people.
about, last week on episode number 41. Are we on 40?
41,
Was that 41 last week? I think it
believe
was.
so, as long as you numbered it correctly when you uploaded it.
It was. It's 41.
Wow.
We recorded in person in New York City, live from New York.
It's
It's
the Basement
Saturday
Birds.
night.
Why didn't we
Except
do
it's-
that?
I did do that. I said live from New York.
Oh, okay.
That was me doing that, and I was still not feeling super well at that point, so I didn't get the full, the golden baritone was not there. But it's still not 100% back, but yeah. So if you haven't seen it, the last episode 41, we recorded live from my hotel room in New York City, NYC, the city that doesn't sleep.
In New York City.
Live from New York. It was great. We had a very eventful trip last week.
Yeah, did we?
That was recorded. Well, I did. That was recorded on the day
Oh my gosh, yes.
that I got engaged, and
Yeah, whoop, whoop, whoop.
we talked briefly about it. But
How about
Cole
that?
said yes. Can you believe it?
Phew, oh man, we were sweating out there for a bit.
Well, we weren't sweating, but we were very wet because it was pouring rain.
Oh yeah.
And for some reason, you thought it a good idea to get off the subway 8 miles away from where we were going.
Yeah,
and
that
walk.
was not a. It said 10-minute walk, but it was not a 10-minute walk.
That was a 30-minute walk at
It felt
minimum.
like it, yeah.
But again, what I don't understand, there was a subway stop that was much closer, much closer, like
The
a
one that I
block
took?
away from. No, that
the one
I
that you
took
guys
the
took?
next day. Yeah,
Huh.
no, well, not because we went to Union Station is where we got off.
Union Square,
Union Square.
but yes.
So we got off at Union Square, but the next day I got off. I don't even remember what stop it was.
Talking on your way to
But
Rockefeller
it was-
Center or on your way back?
This was the next day on the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
to and the way from.
Oh, like the stop by your hotel?
No, Reed.
No?
The-
Okay,
so
I'm
we
lost.
do we go to Rockefeller Center on Wednesday
Yeah,
or on
yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday you go home, right?
Yep.
And then I've got the day to myself to
Traveling.
gallivant
Well, not
around the
traveling,
city.
but touristing, yeah.
Right.
And you found a different subway stop.
I found a
see.
different stop that was almost at Times Square. It was almost that's where we were at. I was like
Okay.
a stop that in Times Square that was much closer to Rockefeller Center. I don't
Yeah.
remember which stop it was, but it was
no,
off
I
the
was-
one of the yellow lines.
I was just going off the MTA app, and that's where it took us, so
Yeah.
I don't
And this
know.
is where this is where it took me. I just put in Radio City and it took me right there.
Hey, man, what can I say? I'm not a local, okay?
Hey, but I appreciate that you showed me how to use the subway system because I used it a lot. And by the way,
yeah.
I
Yep.
think they're doing some funny business over there because literally this morning, I got a charge for the MTA. So
you went
so
to the
I think
49th
they-
Street station. Sorry, I just figured that out.
yes, that's where it was.
Yeah,
That's
my
what it
brother did
was.
say that after the fact that we could have done that, but oh well.
Yes. Well, it doesn't matter. It was fine, but
Yeah, ultimately,
I think they held off until I was over that week threshold to charge me again. Because I definitely hit that 12 rides. Remember you were talking about the 12 rides for
yeah,
you
but you weren't
after
there
that?
for You weren't there for 7 days though. That doesn't make any sense.
I understand, but I was there and I hit the 12 rides while I was there, and so then they waited until today, which is would have been a week later, to charge me again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one may have just posted really late, like my brother has said.
But that was over that would have put me over the 12 though, is what I'm saying.
Oh well, okay. Well, you pay another $2.90. Oh well.
That was bologna ham and cheese sandwich right there. But
oh my word.
No, it was good though.
Yeah.
That day after you left, I know we haven't really. I never told you what I ended up doing that day, but
yeah, give me the rundown about what you all did. You had a whole day to yourself in the city, practically.
Yes. So the first step was to edit the photos from the night before, from the master photographer that we had with us.
I wouldn't go that far. Yeah.
That were all very good photos. Thank you again for doing that.
No, of course. I'm glad
because Nicole was all about getting those photos, so I had to get those going.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, rightfully so, but.
And then I knew I wanted to go see Radio City and Times Square. So those were the kind of two main topics of the day that I wanted to go see. So I literally put in Radio City in the MTA app, went to the 49th Street station.
Yep.
And it was raining, of course, at this point already. So the whole day was raining again.
It was, yeah.
All day.
Oh, gosh,
all day it was raining.
Yeah.
So I walked around in the rain, saw Radio City. I saw the other side. The what? Yeah, like
the big tree on the outside?
Marquee and the tree and all that stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
Then saw the other side of Rockefeller Center where they have the Jimmy Fallon sign.
Yes.
It's a nice show starring Jimmy Fallon.
Did you see the building with the big nutcrackers on the outside of it? I walked by there the Monday that I was there.
Probably.
It was just some corporate building that had massive nutcrackers outside. It's pretty cool though.
It was across from Rockefeller Center,
right opposite Radio City. Like across the street.
I probably did see it, yeah. But again, it was raining, so I was mainly focused on the big points. You know, here's Radio City.
Enough.
This is what I'm looking at.
Trying
not to get too wet. I want to take some photos. You know.
Yeah.
Across from Rockefeller Center, though, they had a very large installation of like big red ornaments that were kind of stacked up, which was kind of neat.
That's cool.
So I saw that. I went and I knew I wanted to see the Ed Sullivan Theater too, which is where Colbert does his show. So I went and saw the Ed Sullivan Theater, which is just down the road a little bit.
Nice.
All of that stuff is pretty close. I was pretty happy about that.
It's all in close proximity, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually went into Rockefeller Center into like the first floor where they have like the Tonight Show store. There was people lining up to see the taping.
Of
the Tonight Show that night.
30 Rock, yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool to see that.
Don't go into the basement. The basement or the lower level, like where you go for the rink and stuff, that is a maze.
That's what you were saying, which I didn't even see how to get down there, to be completely honest. I was just too mesmerized.
I took that elevator that was next to the tree down because I couldn't remember where the stairs were. I had to go inside 30 Rock and then go down from in there, I think, but I just took that as well, and that worked out fine. Then I was looking for a bathroom before I got on the subway, and I'm like, where the heck is it? Like, I'm like walking around, I'm like, I am lost, because like there's signage up to a certain point, and then there just weren't signs. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, where am I going? But I found it eventually.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I didn't end up making it down there.
That's fine. You're not missing much.
Again, it was raining, so I was trying to just see the main points and then get out of there.
Yeah.
I went and saw Times Square, like the main, Times Square where the ball drops, which will be dropping here in just under 2 weeks. Or exactly 2 weeks actually. From today.
So
that'll be
been to Times Square. I always tell myself if I'm on a line that runs through it, I'll pop out of the subway quick, see it, and hop right back on. But I don't know if it's worth the $2.90.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was cool. I don't know. I figured
it's like something to see.
Yeah, I took some
Yeah.
photos, which maybe we can look at some point. They're not. I honestly haven't looked at any of the photos that I took
Yeah, I'm
since I
excited to
got
see how they
back because
turn
it's
out.
been so busy.
I'm very excited to see how they turn out.
Yeah, I think they should be good.
Yeah, that's good.
Hopefully, and then after that, I basically just went back towards the hotel and stopped at Shake Shack for lunch, and
Okay.
that was probably around 2 o'clock. I think
Nice.
it was spent a couple hours down over in Times Square, and then
Okay. Couple
we were
hours in
just
Times Square?
well, a couple hours. Like I probably left at I don't know 10:30, and probably got back to my hotel room about 2:30. So that was
Wow, okay.
including eating lunch.
Oh,
Um,
I gotcha. Okay.
so I wasn't exactly moving fast. I was just kind
Yeah.
of tooling around. And then Nicole got off about 4:30, and so she wanted to see the largest Barnes and Noble, which was actually right by the Doomsday Clock, which is like it was across that park there.
Oh, so you guys should just
Um,
walk there.
yeah, so we walked
It's
there to
across
that.
Union Square. Did you guys see? I think Union Square had like a little holiday market set up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Did you
saw
guys check
that as
that out at all,
well.
or not really?
I mean, a little bit. We saw, some stuff.
Okay.
Just kind of walked through it,
Some
didn't buy
stuff.
anything, but
Gotcha.
she wanted to see that, and then she wanted to see, she wanted to go to Carlos Bakery from Cake Boss.
Oh yeah.
So there's a couple of those. There's one right in the middle of Times Square, which I saw earlier in the day. But
Okay.
then we went to a different one, which is also technically in Times Square. Um, but it wasn't the same one that I had gone to earlier in the day. It was like off Broadway Street. Um,
Which one's the
so
one? The one from the TV show.
that's in Brooklyn, I think, or Jersey.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that wasn't either of those, but she was glad she saw or she got to eat some cannolis and stuff.
Okay.
So, I'd say overall it was a pretty good trip. Nicole says she never wants to go back,
Oh.
but I'd go back. I
Hustle
thought
and
it was
bustle
pretty
isn't
neat.
for everyone, that's for sure.
Well, I'd
For
like to
me,
see it when
like,
it's not like raining. I want to
that is
see. I didn't
true.
see the
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty.
Like go during the
Because it was
summer and
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want sweaty people on the subway, though. I don't know how I feel about that, but I think it'd be an experience either way.
Yeah. Yeah. New York is always one of those places where like I'll always like visiting it. Not sure if it's a place that I could like live though. Like I was out there for a week in January, February, sometime like that, with my family, and like loved being out there, obviously. But I'm like, the week was enough. Kind of missing the nice, slower pace, relaxed life of suburbia. So I
Your
wasn't.
Pennsylvania life. I mean, even
Yeah.
Chicago comparatively is slower, I
Yeah.
find which is just interesting.
Yeah.
I
Well,
didn't think it would be that much different, but it's just like there's always people everywhere.
there's
in
always something
New
going
York.
on. Yeah. Yeah. Like they say the city never sleeps, and this city pretty truly never sleeps. Like there's always
Yeah,
something going
so-
on, which is crazy. But I'm glad you had a good time though. Did you guys
Yeah,
end
I
up going
was.
back to the Italian place we ate at that night?
No,
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 okay.
we did not. We went to that pizza place, Unregular Pizza. This is a
Oh,
shameless
you took
plug.
Nicole there. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
for some unregular pizza. And
How did she like
we
it?
only got one. We only got one order of garlic squares
Probably
instead
a good
of two.
idea.
So, but
That's
she liked
probably a
it.
good idea.
I don't know. I think she's less picky about pizza than I am. But
Yeah.
everyone that since I've gotten home, everyone's like, "Did you fold the pizza in half and eat it like that?" I was like, "I've always eaten pizza like that. Like that's not just a New York thing. That's like
That didn't change.
yeah." But that is my favorite. I do like New York style pizza. That I'm not a big. I mean, I'll eat deep dish like Chicago style, but I'm
Sure.
not. That's not my specialty.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah, that's fair.
the thin crust New York style quality genuine New York slice from Sabaros really
I forgot about that.
dude, I love that. That is one of my favorite clips from that show. But anyway, Yeah, it was good. And
That's good.
again, we were thankful that you could join us as well, because
I was too. That
it's
was
definitely helpful to have someone who knows what the hell's going on.
yeah. It was a lot of fun. Glad I could make it. Obviously, a little bit something different than just me coming back to Chicago and spending time there, but us going someplace else, and seeing a whole new city for you, and new experiences with the proposal, which was great.
Oh yeah, was that the first time you ever saw anyone propose?
That I mean, apart from there have been people that have proposed during games at the ballpark. Um,
Really?
but oh yeah, we had like 3 last season. It was crazy. Yeah, there was like 2 within 2 weeks of each other too. Yeah, like it was a very common thing to
Who's
do.
proposing at minor
Minor
league
league
baseball
baseballs?
games?
That's a really good question. I don't know. People that met there, I guess, that it means a lot to them, get them on the camera, pop the question and hope they say yes. There was one woman
Did they coordinate it beforehand?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
I was thinking
Yeah.
about like,
They
I'll do it
always
at a
coordinate it.
Hawks game or something.
They always coordinate it with the production team, just to make sure that essentially that we'll have a camera, in place, um yeah, so
Well,
so they always
maybe they just
coordinate
want to
with
make
us.
sure they get it like recorded or something. They're like, we're
Correct.
better
That's
than
like a
a
big part of
minor
it.
league baseball game.
That's like a big part of it, is that we recorded, obviously, which is cool. But yeah, we had like a couple of them. There was one woman that definitely like seemed to give like a somewhat hesitant like yes.
Oh, no.
It was like a yes, but we should probably discuss this more when we're off camera, because it was like her birthday party too, and this guy's like, this is the perfect time to propose as well, I guess. So that was not the most enthusiastic one, and we were all kind of left wondering, being like, "Oh God, did she actually say yes, or is this gonna be like, hey, I really like that you, like, I obviously like you and want to say yes, but I don't like that you did this in a public setting in front of everyone at my birthday party, kind of thing." That was kind of the vibe that I was
Oh
giving
boy.
off. So, jury's still out on that one. Haven't gotten any wedding invitations from any of them, but that's okay. That's okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yours will be in the mail when we
Oh,
decide
great.
a date. So
Great. I will.
you can
I
take
will
photos there
happily do
too.
that. Oh, good one. Okay, yeah, just put me to work. I see how it is. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Just have the friend to take photos. Okay, got it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
No, I
Logan.
wouldn't do that. I'd pick someone that does it all the time. Come on now.
Yeah, I would. I would not want to shoot a wedding. That would be like,
No.
That
No.
is like, when I think of like the worst possible creative things that I want to do, shooting a wedding is pretty high up there. Like, I would not want to.
That's
do that.
way too much pressure.
Oh my
and
gosh, way too much pressure.
You
Way
know,
too
you
much.
had a fair amount of pressure just that you didn't,
I know,
screw it up.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
and then like the
could
camera
you
was
imagine
focusing
2
on the
hours
tree,
of
and
that?
I'm like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
2 hours of that of pressure,
Yeah,
of
where it's
stress?
just like,
Absolutely
and then you got to hope that the card doesn't get corrupted or
Oh my-
something. Like I
yeah,
saw a dude on TikTok the other day where it's like, oh, my worst fears come true. My card was corrupted. I was like,
yeah. I'm like,
I'm going to have nightmares about that. That wasn't
terrible.
even me who was doing it. Like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah,
Gosh.
forget that. Would not want to do it. Would not want to do it.
Unbelievable.
But glad you had a good time in New York, that you didn't get lost. You didn't ask me any subway questions while I was on the train, which was great.
Dude, I'm a subway machine now. And
Once
now
you-
I get a whole bunch of TikToks about the subway system and like
Oh
the
my
Metro
gosh.
card.
I've been getting so many TikTok. I leave New York and my whole TikTok feed is just what to do in New York this holiday season. I'm like, I was just here. Where was this recommendation before? I will say though, okay, I have to ask you this question. What were your thoughts on the Rockefeller Christmas tree? Is it worth
Oh my
the hype?
gosh. It was unbelievable. First of all, I mean, it looks fake when you
does. It
look
does.
at it. It looks like you're like, this is no way this is a real tree.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
I think I was just surprised by the just sheer amount of Christmas lights that are
Yes.
on the tree.
It doesn't even look like a tree.
It's just every part of the tree is a light.
It's like a cone
Like the
just
whole
covered in
branch, each branch is like totally has the shape of the branch in
Yeah.
lights. It's
yeah.
not just like, oh, we're gonna drape a few on here. You
No.
know, they're not even gonna be the same color. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine the electricity bill.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
for
I will
just
say,
that.
The Rockefeller tree was cool. But the one that surprised me the most was that one that we saw outside of the stock exchange.
Oh yeah,
I was not
that was a
expecting
big
there to
one
be
as
a
well.
massive tree out there either, and that one was also very well lit. And comparing people counts around that one, significantly less because I don't think a lot of people know about it. People know the Rockefeller tree, but they don't know that there's I would say, almost equally as cool and well decorated tree outside the stock exchange.
Well, yeah, I also feel like there's not too many like alleys in New York, right? We talked about that. All the
Sure,
garbage
yeah.
just like on the street. I feel like the stock exchange is just like down some like weird alley. Like
It
it's not.
feels like one,
It's like shoved into like nobody come into this area
Yeah.
kind of like
I
they
mean,
have
that's
all the
essentially what
roads
it-
like blocked off so you can't
Yeah.
drive, and
I
so
think
it's
that's
like
the big
it's
thing about
it's
it.
almost like you're at the back of the building. Like that's how I
Yeah.
felt. It was like we're in the backside, but it's
Yes.
not. It's like the front side of the building, but it's like it's
Yeah.
not at all like it is in The Dark Knight Rises.
I think
like
with
it's
how shut down they have the area in terms of like security and not having vehicle traffic come through, it does kind of give that like back alley, like more secluded feel to it, because you're realistically only a block off of a main road in Manhattan. I think you're off of Broadway, so you're off of a main road, but it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like you're very like tucked away from everything. It's very like intimate, like close together feel that you get in that area, which is really unique for the city like that.
Yeah, and I didn't realize until that day when we went to the federal building
Yeah,
that the federal building is literally across the street,
I didn't either.
which is the original first capital of the United States, right? It's where George
Yeah.
Washington took the first presidential oath of office. And
There was
maybe we
a-
talked about it a little bit on the last episode, but
Yeah, I think like
I
the
didn't
Bill of
realize
Rights
that was so close.
or like yeah, like the Bill of Rights was like somewhat decided on there, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, which was really
That
interesting.
to me, I thought was kind of interesting, just
Yeah,
because.
there's a lot of history in that small area, and you go up a couple blocks, you get to City Hall. You go a couple blocks over, you have Ground Zero. So you got a lot
There's
of
a giant bull for some reason, just like in the middle
giant
of the
bull.
square.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone's taking pictures, and you're like, "What's going on?" There's a dude
Yeah.
selling souvenirs for dramatically overpriced
Too much.
miniature bulls.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole Wall Street area is really interesting. It's not like the stock exchange itself isn't like crazy. Like you walk and you're like, oh wow, that's like the center of the financial markets of the world. Like okay, there it is. Like you read the text like New York Stock Exchange on the wall. Great. And it's a cool looking building, but like you first realize that like the side that's the coolest side of the building isn't actually on Wall Street. Which,
Yeah,
kinda
it's on
feels-
Broad Street.
Yeah, it's on Broad Street. It's like, okay, what are we doing there? We're so close, but why aren't we actually on Wall Street? And then you're like, oh, okay,
It's
that's
a
kinda
sick
cool.
joke.
But then, like, the tree adds to the setting. You have the different statues and stuff in the area. Kind of, it's a more of the area that you need to experience than just the stock exchange. Because I think if you go just for the stock exchange, like I did the first time, you're gonna be disappointed. Because you're like, no, great, it's a building. But like everything else
Yeah.
around it, and like maybe the Christmas tree helped add to the ambiance of the area for me.
Well, maybe you should just you should go inside the stock exchange. I think that's what we're hoping for is a
That'd be
tour.
cool,
I mean,
but
they
I-
have to give tours, right? I mean, there's
I don't
no
know if
way they
give
just
tours.
what?
I don't know if they give tours.
Maybe after hours. I bet they do. That'd be the time to do it. Would be like
How to
after hours.
experience the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah, I mean, like the
Yeah, I
trading
mean,
floor doesn't look nearly like what it did. You know, did in the did in the past. No
Well, I
more
also
public
think
tours.
like I think at least from Wolf of Wall Street, there's like accounting firms and other places that are off Broad Street or Wall Street that are not necessarily inside the stock exchange, but it's still where like when I picture off Wall Street, yeah, there's the stock exchange, but then there's also how many firms that are buying and trading and doing all that sort of stuff also right there, So I
Yeah.
think that's kind of where
Yeah.
I got that idea from. But
Yeah. So you're
um,
unable to get a tour of the stock exchange. You can get tours of Wall Street. It's
right,
like, okay, but I think we really
yeah.
saw
Well,
we saw everything to see there. The Federal Hall. We saw that really cool church, which I
yeah,
thought was neat, Trinity Church, and just kind of like its cemetery, just kind of plopped in the middle of a city block.
yeah. That was kind
It's
of
the
wild.
gravesite of Alexander Hamilton. Is that what
That's what I.
you were trying to?
That's what
You were
I
trying to
thought.
remember that?
Remember, I was like, I think
Yes.
someone's buried there. That
Yeah. Yeah.
I kept like being like, I don't know, so like I saw something about it once. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. Alexander Hamilton,
Yep.
made famous by Hamilton, the
The
musical.
musical. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. So, but anyway, we should move on here before
Yeah.
we could talk all day about.
We could. We could.
This,
We have almost filled another episode with content that is just all about New York, but that's okay.
It's up to you.
I thought it could be fun. Instead of doing our regular odd news segment, okay, we talk a lot about world records for odd news, so I think we could go over this article from the UPI that actually published this morning. Odd 2024, the 10 oddest Guinness World Records of the year. So we can kind of just rapid fire through these. How about?
That's
got
kind of
10 to
fun.
get through. All right, first one, smallest
Wait,
washing
can I just say
machine.
I was going to I had a world record queued up.
Oh, did you really?
Before you
Maybe
before
it'll be
you
in the
came
list.
and brought that up? Yeah.
Maybe
So
let's find out. So first one, it comes from India, the world's smallest washing machine.
Ooh.
It was 1.28 inches by 1.32 inches by 1.52 inches. And they
I
compare
see.
it to smaller than a Tamagotchi digital pet. Interesting comparison there. And to
Is it-
qualify,
I wonder if you can only wash digital clothing, like little miniature pants or
well,
something.
get this. To qualify for this record, they had to demonstrate that the washing machine was fully functional. It ran a full cycle of wash, rinse, and spin, which is pretty impressive.
Wow.
Next
Does it have a
up, we got-
picture? I'm gonna have to look up this article.
It's got a little video, actually.
Ooh. I want to see the video.
Yep, and he's loading a little detergent in and a little piece of cloth. Yeah.
Okay.
Next one. Largest building in the shape of a chicken. I don't know how to say the name of this place nor where it is located, but it stands 114 feet 7 inches tall. This is a resort. It features 15 air-conditioned rooms. It's a tribute to the local game fowl industry in the area that it is. So that's pretty cool. A big chicken.
Interesting. Big
Yeah.
chicken.
Next one, we got longest paddling journey by pumpkin boat. A guy from Oregon, Gary Christensen, he hollowed out a pumpkin he dubbed Punky Loaster and took a 45-mile journey down the Columbia River. Holy
all,
cow! I
That
was
is
not
a
expecting.
great name. That is a great name for a pumpkin boat. Punky Loaster. Come on.
Can we talk
now.
about how he went 45 miles? He faced strong winds and unstable waters, printed the words "It's real" on the side of the pumpkin to answer an obvious question that had been asked by curious onlookers.
That's great.
That's wild.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. All right.
45 miles.
Wow. That's crazy in a pumpkin.
I wish
Wow.
it said how long that journey took. Like, I guess if you're going if you're going downriver, you're still not going 45 miles an hour.
The good news is that these articles are linked to, or these are linked to full articles. They said that it took more than 26 hours.
Oh my gosh, that is oh man, they have a picture of the pumpkin. Wow.
So that pumpkin was moving just over 2 miles an hour.
Wow.
Next up, we head to China. There's an American short-haired cat whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce because it's Chinese. And he skateboarded for 10 meters in 12.85 seconds.
Bao Zi.
Yeah.
The name's not that difficult.
Yeah,
Come on now.
As a
Bao
dog
Zi.
trainer, he bought Bowsy to deal with a rodent problem, but noticed that he would watch intently while he was teaching dogs how to skateboard, so he decided to teach the cat, and I guess the cat beat out the dogs on the skateboard.
Really?
And it got the record, which is interesting.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I'm not much of a cat person, but I feel like dogs always win out in the circus trick category.
Cats would be harder to train, too, because they're so, like, a lot of cats can have very strong-willed personalities. They're like, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not going to ride your skateboard. You know?
Grumpy cat, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, we got most rice grains eaten in a minute using chopsticks. It takes us to Bangladesh.
Oh, my God.
It said the greatest challenge was ensuring extra pieces of rice didn't stick to her chopsticks. She easily defeated the record by eating 37 grains of rice.
So, okay. I mean, I guess I'm curious if this rice was cooked or if this was just eaten raw. And this person's only 24 years old.
That's impressive.
Can we talk about how they're breaking records, breaking down walls?
Yeah.
At the age of 22? I mean, come on now.
One at a time. Look at that. Next up, we got the highest car bungee jump. Loren Lasco, a stuntman and a race car driver. He sat in the seat of a Nissan Qashqai e-power vehicle when it was dropped from a crane at a height of 213 feet and 3 inches. The car bounced
right from
up
the
and
rear
down the end
bumper.
of a bungee cord before coming safely to a rest. That seems terrifying.
Would you ever go? Have you ever gone bungee jumping?
I have not. And no, I would not.
Would you ever go bungee jumping?
No. I ain't trusting that cord.
I don't.
Jumping
I don't
off a
wanna do
cliff
that
with
either.
attached to a rubber band? Heck no.
And they push you sometimes too. That's the part
Yep.
that I don't like.
Right,
Like
here you
I'd be
go.
afraid I'd get to the edge and be like, I don't want to do it, and then they go and push you off. Like
Yeah. This next one is very interesting. Definitely weird. This is Saudi Arabia. Ibrahim Al Nasir broke the record for the most consoles connected to a single TV. He used 30 RCA switches and more than 12 HDMI switches to hook 440 video game consoles up to his TV. He needed an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of which boxes and converters he needed to use to play each console, because I imagine you have to demonstrate that each one actually connects. That's crazy.
my question:
Yeah.
why do you need to do this? How? I mean, why do you need four? Like, there's no way you're playing 444 gaming consoles at the same time.
I
Right?
feel
I
like
get
with
okay. You're
the-
playing 4, maybe.
Yeah. I feel like with the proper financial backing, that's one we could break, because you realistically just need to, if you have switches that are just 2 inputs, you can just scale them as you go,
Well, even if you get
Also-
one that's more than you get one that's 8 inputs, you can scale that real quick. Like that'll
Where did this
exponentially
guy
scale.
get 444 game consoles?
I don't know. He's wearing. Is that a lab coat? That's not a lab coat, is it?
No, that's a traditional Saudi Arabian garment, I
Oh.
believe.
Okay. Well,
Anyway,
it's still
back to
very.
the list.
It's very impressive, and he has them like
It looks very organized. too,
spiraled
which, I
up
mean,
on,
you would-
like,
you would need to
like-
be.
That's so many.
Let's see. Next up, we go to Britain. To Dylan Phillips. He's a mechanic. He hit the tarmac in an airfield in Yorkshire and took his custom-built vehicle, a motorized wheelbarrow, up to a top speed of 52.58 miles per hour. He said it was scary.
Yes.
But the only real issue is slowing down because the vehicle only has brakes on the front. That is terrifying.
Oh, but if you look at the picture though, the back is
Let
just.
me
It's
see
like
photos.
um.
Oh, you
they're
stand
basically
on it.
just
Okay.
you stand on it. It's not.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
freaking
okay.
me out. So the wheelbarrow
Yeah.
only just has the one. I wanted him to ride in the wheelbarrow.
That's what I was expecting. Yeah.
Like that. That would be the best way to do it. And you
Yeah.
almost ride backwards, like you're riding.
That could be fun. Let's see. We got 2 more to go. This one takes us down to Florida because why not? Most items identified by a parrot in 3 months. This African gray
That's a
parrot, Apollo, 4 years old, belongs to residents Dalton and Tori Mason. He was able to identify 12 objects presented to him by name in 3 minutes. This bird has
Oh.
2.8 million followers on TikTok, identified objects including a book, a sock, and a figurine of Super Mario's nemesis, Wario.
2.8 more million followers than I have. Come
Yeah,
on.
right? That's crazy. Good
Well,
for that
but it's
parrot.
only 12 objects. I mean, that
Yeah,
to
I was
me,
kind of expecting more.
that's kind of weak sauce.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Am I crazy for thinking that? I don't know.
No, that's weak
I don't know.
sauce.
Yeah.
Apollo.
Let's see.
Boo. Boo.
For the last one, while Logan's booing the
boo
bird, this
that
one
one.
takes us to Nigeria. A professional wig maker, named Helen Williams. She previously earned the record
Great name.
for the longest handmade wig at 1,152 feet and 5 inches. She earned her second title by assembling a wig 11 feet 11 inches wide, 1 inch wider than a Mini Cooper is long.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I remember that one. Do you remember? I feel like we've talked about that on the show. No.
What's the
You don't
difference?
remember that?
Oh, she did longest wig, and now it is widest wig.
Yes. No, we definitely talked about that because I remember being like,
longest
I
one?
don't know what. Yeah. No, this widest one because
Oh, okay.
this is just from this past year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We may have talked about it.
Okay.
This says that she used more than 800 bundles of real hair to make her record-breaking wig, which was then decorated with 1,000 rhinestones and put on display in her office. And this thing is...
In her office?
Yeah.
That's weird.
This thing is
What
huge.
the heck are you doing that for in your office?
If you watch this video and she spins around in a circle, she could clean the floor with this thing. That's how long it is as well.
God.
Like, this isn't just any, like, short wig. This is... It goes down to the ground.
It's no
That's
yoke.
crazy.
I don't know, man.
Oh, my gosh.
I still think we need to figure out for next year a record that we can attempt to break live on air.
I think we could find something.
Yeah, especially in this weird category. We have to keep monitoring
yeah.
the UPI website.
I think we just go to Guinness though, and we just see what.
We just Google easiest record to break.
Yeah, let me look at all the records. Like, how do we?
Okay, well we're out of
Find a
time. We could
record.
do that next week. Next week we'll have to do
fair.
that.
That's fair.
We got a ton of fun stuff happening
Yeah.
all the time
Yeah.
right here on the Basement Bird Show, and this time we're live from our hometown, live from the basement. No longer in NYC, New York City. We're also, in addition, on all sorts of social media platforms, which Reid will tell you about right now.
Yeah, Instagram and TikTok at Basement Birds. We're also on Spotify and YouTube. Whatever way you want to catch the show, catch the show.
Catch it like I caught the birds in my basement.
Yeah, how about that? Good.
With a butterfly net.
Good
Yes.
segue. I like that one.
All right. Well, I'm riding out my Segway off into the sunset. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
See ya.